Well, hello and welcome once again to the DCL podcast, where we're inviting you to sit back, relax, and we'll be on our way shortly.
Well, welcome back to the DCL podcast, your podcast to cruise a little smarter. And believe it or not, it's not Steve, it's me, Lake, but I am not alone. I am here with our fabulous co-host, Christy.
Hello, good morning, Lake.
Good morning. And I think everyone is always very excited to have first-time cruiser reports. I think the energy is just always a little bit extra on the first-time cruisers. There's, I think, just always a little bit more magic, a little less criticism for the most part. Not always.
Right. I think that's true.
But overall, I think first-time cruise reports are just always very exciting. Sometimes we get a little bit more of those rose-colored glasses. And that's good. Sometimes we need that, especially when we talk a lot of cruise line.
Exactly. And we can be reminded of all the things that we first fell in love with Disney Cruise Line with.
Absolutely. So bringing on, we have Jos'ee. Jos'ee, would you like to give us the correct pronunciation of your name? Because I'm going to butcher it this whole episode.
You guys are doing so good. Okay. My name is Jos'ee Cormier. It's very French.
It's beautiful. And I wish we could make those sounds come out. In fact, when I went to France, my husband could not make fun of me more because I would try to say certain words and for whatever reason, my mouth just does not make them come out. Like maybe I should actually try to take French to make them come out. But either way.
Okay. You just thought they were going to come out right just by being in that space.
Trying over, like people can say these words. I don't know why I can't. So, okay, that's besides the point. So this is very exciting. You went on your first Disney cruise. You actually reached out to us and tagged us on Instagram. Very smart. And said, I want to do a trip report, which is fabulous. Absolutely.
Because I've been listening to you guys since 2020. So for me, it was like, oh my gosh, if I end up going on this cruise, I would love to be on their podcast. So Lake, I completely agree that as a listener, first time cruisers, it's always exciting to listen. Like I always enjoyed when you had people for their first time because I relate to that, like the first time. So
why don't we go ahead and start with a little bit of your Disney background and kind of what led you to booking your first Disney cruise?
Oh my God, this is so fun, you guys. Okay. So I am, obviously first time Disney cruiser, but very much Disney parks are my thing. Like I absolutely love Disney World. I've never been to Disneyland because I am from New Brunswick, Canada. So Disney World is definitely closer to us. And I don't want to say like this sounds so privileged, but like I grew up in Disney, but like my parents brought me like almost every year when I was young. And that was like unique from where we're from, like way back to go there so often. And so I just like the smell of it, just the memories from when I was a young girl. So for me, just Disney in general has been a part of like just my heart. Like it's special to me. So Disney parks are my thing. Going on a Disney cruise was just never a part of the story or the history of me, just because my parents were like, it's so expensive, but maybe one day you'll bring your own kids. And so that was the day. Like it was like going on a Disney cruise for us was a big deal. Like it's definitely something that is like, this was it. That my Disney background is just loving everything. Minnie, Mickey, Ariel is my favorite princess. Just like growing up, I'm in my mid 30s. So it was like just the whole like Cinderella, Ariel, all of that. So it's more me. I'm the Disney freak, like not my kids. Like I am the person that loves the smell of Disney, basically.
Oh my God. I love that. So who did you cruise with then? You mentioned kids.
Yes. Okay. We were 10 of us. There was Yes. So There a group of 10. Yeah. So we did that. Like my parents came. So my mom was really excited. She's like, I feel like this has been a dream come true. So my parents came, my brother, his wife, his 2 children, and then me, my husband, and my 2 kids. So 10 of us, the whole bunch.
And how old were your kids and how old were your brother's kids?
Okay. So my kids are 4 and 8. His kids are 9 and 11.
Okay. So it's all Castaway or like kids club leveled ages so they can all go in together. Oh, this will be good. So this is a large trip that we can get some insight on for your trip report and then your first time cruiser. So we get to cover everything. Yes. It's exciting.
Just for clarification, was this your first cruise ever as well?
It was not, but it was our first cruise with kids. So we were like cruisers before having children. We did like 5 cruises before, all Royal Caribbean though. So always let's like repeat the same thing. We like get comfortable. I think that's our love for Disney. Like my husband was like, oh, are we doing Disney again next year? I'm like, absolutely. Like Florida, like I just like Orlando. I would move there. Disney Springs, like all of it. Yes. Repeat. He's like, I feel like we like don't even need our GPS. I'm like, absolutely. That is what I want. I want to not have my GPS. I basically live there. So yeah, no, not our first cruise, but definitely our first cruise as a group of 10 and with children.
That's very cool. So what made you land on this 7-night Western on the Fantasy? I feel like that's a pretty big leap for a first time Disney cruise.
I know. I think it's like go big or go home. I think it's because we've only done 7-day cruises even before cruising, like even before this one. And we had not cruised in 10 years. So our last cruise was like 2010, I think. And again, for us to go all the way there, like just because like it's a big trip. So it's like you just do it. And 7 days for us just seemed like, again, go big or go home. You go to the newest ship and the biggest cruise. That's how we decided to do it. That's it.
Awesome. So coming from Canada, right?
Yes.
Tell us about your experience kind of getting to the ports. Did you guys do any days before or after in Disney World? And how did you get from either the airport or property over to the port?
Okay. So we were actually in Florida for 10 days before cruising. So it was a big trip, like 17 days. And we typically do 2 weeks in Florida and we loved the mix, the parks and the cruise. Oh my God, I have so many opinions, but when people are like, once you do the cruise, you won't want to do the parks again. I'm like, oh my God, I have so much to say about that. But yeah, so we did Animal Kingdom. We only did one day because we were just in Florida in December. I'm telling you, I love Florida. So we did Florida in December where we did Magic Kingdom. So just 3 months later, we're back in Florida. My husband's like, are we doing Disney again? He is not he would definitely skip the parks. And I'm like, absolutely, we need the magic. So we did Animal Kingdom this time, 10 days doing Disney Springs, doing the water parks. My kids are big water parks. So we did both. How lucky were we? Listen to this, you guys. Blizzard Beach closed while in the 10 days and then Typhoon Lagoon opened. So we got to do both parks in the same trip, which is like quite rare. Like you have to be there when one closes and the other one open because there's only one open at a time.
Before we leave the water parks really quick, because I feel like we don't talk about them very much. How did you feel they were for the kids that you all had? Did your brother stay? Did he go to the water parks as well?
So he didn't do the 10 days. He arrived 3 days before the cruise, but we saved a water park. We actually saved 2 water parks for him because our kids do appreciate a good water park. So they did great. It was amazing. We had done Typhoon Lagoon in March last year and we had remembered that the kids had loved it. And my brother had not done Typhoon Lagoon since we were kids, like him and I as kids with my parents. So he was he was disappointed that Blizzard Beach was closed when he arrived. But I'm like, I have to say Typhoon Lagoon is crushing it right now. And they have so many things to do for that group, that age group. Lineups were amazing. It was really good, real good experience.
So then do you think was Typhoon Lagoon then your favorite of the two?
My personal favorite is Blizzard Beach. I think it's just because I can't even say because of this slide or whatever. It's just I guess personal, just the aesthetics of it. It is so, it's just so beautiful. And I just love the idea. That's such an old person thing to say. I don't like the architecture, but it's just I like the look of it. Either way, it's a slide is a slide is a slide. I'm I don't know. But Typhoon Lagoon has so much to offer as well that Blizzard Beach, I don't know. I think Blizzard Beach is getting a lot of hype just because of how it's very Instagrammable versus I find that Typhoon Lagoon is not as Instagrammable. It's not as everything's kind of everywhere. So they can't get that beautiful, look of it, but the wave pool is amazing. But both have what I'm looking for, which is heated water. It's just that a lot to do and not long lineups. I didn't find it bad at all. And maybe we're just being lucky because people are just coming back now from the pandemic, or maybe I'm just lying to myself, but things were good. Both were really good. So I'm going to go Blizzard Beach, but I think if my kids were to choose, the only reason they would say Blizzard Beach is because of that zip line in the kids area. My daughter just loved that. I think my son, if he could vote, he would say Typhoon because he like still talks about that big tube that he went with my dad. And like, so there's just a lot to offer in both. So that was good. And we also did Volcano Bay. Don't know if you want to talk about that, but we did do Volcano Bay as well.
Yeah. How do you think that compared?
So price, it's a little bit more pricey. It's more like $90 US each. Whereas like I find that water parks, Disney water parks are very price friendly. Like I come from nowhere and the water park here is very expensive in the summer. So like for me, I'm like, oh, it's almost the same. And we get literally 7 times the fun and it's Disney. So the branding right there, that's why it's expensive. It is what it is. But yeah, if you're like, I'm not sure if my family's ready for theme parks and like, just like because parks are getting expensive right now. Like if you just like, it's actually insane. Whereas like if I just compare to my 2014 trip, it's like twice the price each, you know?
Yeah. Don't compare. Don't compare to trips from the past.
So true. But yeah, no, I feel like water parks have always been $65. I feel like they're just, anyway. So for me, the kids just, it's a full day, no crying, no like trying to entertain them. It's like always super good. So anyway, Volcano Bay is more like $90, but you know why? Like you see it the minute you walk in, like it's more like the queue with the thing. So there's no waiting. In. It's more, it's like Universal Studios. It's more
Sure.
Yes. If you have a teen, I'm pretty sure you're a teen, you will love Volcano Bay a little bit more than Disney water parks, but Disney water parks are amazing. I'm not saying anything bad, but it's just, I think your teen would be like, whoa, like more thrill rides, thrill slides. But my son is crushing that water park that is just made for him because he was just at 42 inches. And so he loves that park that they have their kind of their own water park at Volcano Bay. There's like 4 or 5 slides and it's like massive. It's insane actually. But it's really important to me that the water is heated. That's like in a water park, you think you're like, no, we'll be fine. It's 90 degrees. There is nothing worse than freezing. Like when the water is so cold at a water park, you do not enjoy your full day. Like Aquatica. No, they need to do better. They need heated, like the water's not heated at Aquatica. And I'm like, never again. Now that I know this.
All really good feedback, actually. And we don't really discuss that almost ever, the water park. So this is great.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, we just, we did Blizzard Beach back in February for a day. And I love, between the two, I love the theming of Blizzard Beach. I totally agree. Like the appeal is all there. However, Typhoon Lagoon consistently gets more love. It's gotten like 4 new attractions while Blizzard Beach has continued to just kind of sit there. And I think that's why people tend to lean towards Typhoon Lagoon because there is straight up just more to do there. But Blizzard Beach has that cool, like, wow factor with the whole mountain setting and all of that.
Well, we were there for 10 days. Basically, we did Disney Springs, did all the things. We did the boardwalk. We did the gondolas. Is that how you say that? Is that the thing? Is that the word?
Gondola. Skyliner. Yeah.
Skyliner. Yes, the Skyliner. Yeah. That's like a go-to for us. Love Polynesian Resort. So we usually go visit that. And then we actually had never done that. The weather was like kind of like 18 degrees Fahrenheit, not Fahrenheit, but obviously Celsius. And so that's not water parky and, staying at the pool at our home. We actually visited Art of Animation. We had never done that. My son is a big, like Cars. So we did the whole, we went to go see Mater and Sally. And anyways, it was so cool. It was so cool. We've actually never stayed on site. So that is like one of our dreams. It's very interesting that my whole life, we've been to Disney, but we did the Fort Wilderness when we were like right young, but I like my kids in their own bed at 7:30 PM. I like my husband in our own room. Like, that's just like how I like it for now until they grow up, I guess.
Very cool. So moving back, kind of looking towards cruise line, how did you guys get to the port?
So we had our own car, 2 cars between the 10 of us, 2 vans, obviously, and then super easy, like so smooth. My husband, very organized, kind of figured out, okay, we have to go drop you off. And then we go to, I think it was at Avis. Anyways, one of the things. And then he's like, I have no clue how long this is going to take. Could be an hour. And he was like, this is, I think like the car where he dropped off the car is still like a good 10-minute drive away from the port. So he dropped us off. He's like, I have no clue how long this is going to be. Like, we'll text, whatever. We had our port arrival time. I don't know if that's what it's called. Again, I'm going to say like, I don't know. It's the language barrier. 12:15. So we had a good time. And so we arrived there right at 12:15. I'm like, oh, hopefully it's not going to take him an hour. You know what I mean? And the kids are like, the boat's right there. Why can't we get on? You know how they are. They don't understand. I think when he dropped us off, he's like, you know what? go in, leave me my passport, leave me my thing. Like so him and my brother were the two drivers. So like, when we get on, we get on. If you guys can get on without us. But what happened is the kids had their own stateroom. So my husband was in a stateroom with my son, but I have my son. So can my son go in without the adult that is in his stateroom was like the big question. But Disney was like, I'm pretty sure, like the people that were picking up our luggage was like, you're right next door, same last name, same reservation, should be good, So, and it was good. It was all good. But at the end of the day, we were in line to get in and my husband's like, I'm here. Like it took no time. So he was back before we got on. It was insane.
That's great. And the way you did it, where you had your husband drop you guys off, is the way to do it, because the line is so much longer at the car rental return if you also need room for a family and room for all your luggage. So if you're going in that van back to the port, but you only have one butt or two butts to sit on a seat, you don't have any stuff with you, that really will allow you to get on the van sooner, because eventually what happens, right, is you have a family of 4 with all their luggage and another family of 4 and all their luggage. And then there's literally 1 or 2 seats left and no space for luggage. And so they're like, who's left that can fit in this spot? So that is a really good way to do it. And then you sort of alluded to booking 2 rooms on the cruise for your family. So why don't you talk about that for a minute and how did you base your decision?
Okay. So, like I told you earlier, I do enjoy my kids having their own room for sleeping, like our husband, but I understand that that's also not everyone can either afford that or want that. It is kind of luxurious that your kids have their own stateroom. I understand that. And that's why it's like, go big or go home. And we did the big thing. We had 5 staterooms all next to each other, opening our veranda. Like it was like a very special trip, Yeah. So my kids could go see Mimi and Pepea, grandma and grandpa in the morning via the veranda. And it was really sweet.
Isn't that the best? We had one, I don't know why all these cruises that my mom has cruised with us, that we didn't get adjacent rooms where we can open that veranda door. And then he would just like wake up and she doesn't care if he comes in.
No,
and
they don't care.
Like, go into the cabin, wake her up. And it's like, it's a dream for the grandparents.
Absolutely.
Some grandparents, right?
Yeah. And my parents, yes, their dream. And we also wanted to do evening stuff. Like my husband and I, we like to spend time alone. And so my kids, like Dia, which is my oldest, she's 8 and she's like a 13-year-old. She's so cute. She loves taking care of her little brother. They have a special thing happening. So I felt comfortable knowing that she's just a walk away, not you know what I mean? My mom was not sleeping before we got home from going for late night entertainment. So it was just it really worked out. It was perfect for us and just that extra space. But I do have to say that we were very impressed with the spacing of our staterooms. There's tons, you think that your suitcase is going to be in the way, whatever, but under the bed, I'm like, oh my gosh, we have all this space. It was really good. Yeah.
So I'm going to backtrack it just a little bit here to embarkation. Obviously, Disney puts a little bit of spectacle into getting on board the ship. Could you talk about what that experience was like with your family?
Okay, it was super smooth. And we really wanted that experience. That's why our cruise was supposed to be March 2020, you guys. And it was pushed all this time. And I think it's because it was our first time. And it was we really wanted that full, because I was listening to you guys and you're like, oh, it's not bad. There's no this. And I like this. And I was like, no, I need the non-pandemic version of the Disney cruise.
Totally get that.
Yeah. So I don't want to test. I don't want so we still went to Florida. But I needed I needed it to be just like it was before, you guys. And it was, so it's super smooth. They grabbed our luggage, the lineup. So you have a lineup for first timers, lineup for non-first timers. So we went into the first timer lineup, oh, everyone's a first timer. And I'm someone that loves to talk to strangers about all the things. I'm oh, hello, you're also a first timer. So it was great. Lineup was 20 minutes. You know what I mean? I'm this is nothing. All is good. We're in air conditioning. We're getting on a Disney trip. This is just all excitement. Kids did great in the lineup. And then again, everyone was so sweet, very Disney, all smiles and hello. And then walking on was super smooth. We did the picture of the whole family in front of, we did that. And then we walked into the Disney ears And here we are. And then they announced our name. I cried a little. Like, just like I cry every time you start this podcast with that. Like I'm walking on the side, I listening to the podcast and I'm like, oh my God, don't do it. Like, there's just something about Disney. It just is memories for me. And we did that. And then we got to the Silhouette party where I just like crushed it. The kids just like walked up, like it was good. The kids walked up right in front because they have that kids section. So embarkation was great. It really smooth as a first timer. No stress.
Awesome. Before we get to the sailaway party, though, where did you eat lunch?
Ended up going to the buffet, I think. Yeah, we did the buffet. Yeah, it was super windy. We didn't care. We just went outside in the wind because you're just like so excited. And you're like, it doesn't matter that the napkins and everything's flying and no one else is here. The food was delicious the whole trip. But yeah, no, we did lunch at Cabanas. Yep.
After lunch and before the sail away, did you guys actually go to Kids Club registration and open house?
We did. So we had done the whole registration online before, like everything that you need to do online, we had done that, but you did have to extra registration before your kids can actually go in and with their bracelets. So the kids got their bracelets when we like did the port, like they loved it. It was so sweet. And they do this thing where they like lock it so that they don't, I'm sure like tons of kids were losing that before they did the whole locking. Yeah. So we went there the whole bunch for the open house and they did the registration, like finalized like my face, my husband's face, making sure that we had the proper password. Also allowed like all of my family members to be able to pick up my children. But I also gave the three oldest had their own, like they could leave whenever they wanted to leave. They did not need to be picked up. They crushed it. They absolutely love this cruise. My daughter still is like, I miss the Disney cruise. She says that all the time. I think you just miss cruising, but sure. Like she's like only Disney cruise because it's her like first and only. And I'm like, you're so sweet. And my son, he's 4. So he could like obviously go in. They can all go in by themselves, but I need to be there to pick him up. He doesn't know where he's going when he gets out of the kids club. So we did that. They loved it. It was good. Yeah.
So did they spend a lot of time in the kids club this cruise then?
I mean, I wish I would have spent more time there, but they definitely did spend time there. And they love the idea of that flexibility of I'm going to go, I'm going to leave. So they definitely used it. The youngest one, which I listened to you, Christy, and your son seems like he's crushing all of the kids clubs. And I like love that for you. Not jealous at all.
We love it for us too. However, he didn't get that way until really pandemic times. He would spend much less time in the kids club in the original years. And so it was as he got older and when he got to go and they had these designated activities, then he felt more comfortable. And then because of that comfort, now he's just like, I don't ever need to leave. So yes, it is.
My daughter thrives more on the like, oh, they know my name. Oh, they like, she thrives more on that. And she's also bilingual. Whereas my son is not fully bilingual, right? His main language is French, but we had practiced like, I want you to call my mom. He can say that. He listens to YouTube all the time. Like he's got this, but he definitely will not interact with an English child inside the kids club. Right. So for him, he probably felt more like, okay, I'm done because I'm not bored, but kind of also younger. I feel like Dia, my oldest, she thrives on like, oh, we're going to play Jenga. Oh, we're going to dance. Oh, we're going to do this. Ooh, they know my name. Ooh, there's another girl. And I found a friend. Whereas he's social, but maybe the language was more like, he's not as comfortable as she is. And he's more of a mama's boy. Like he's more like, I'm ready to be with my mom and I'm ready to leave, but he is just 4 as well.
Don't just assume you're going to have a kid like mine who now like goes in and is literally in there for hours and then leaves to eat and then goes back for hours because it really, some of them need to be more comfortable with the idea.
Absolutely. And I always say this, like even listening to you guys, when I'm like, you need to know your family's strengths. So tons of people reach out to me and they're like, what about this? And what about the parks? I'm like, I always say this, like, if your kid is like, not a fun kid at home, he's not going to be a fun kid in Disney. Like wait till your kid's like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, they're like, oh, Dia seemed like, I'm like, yeah, but that's Dia. She like waits in line and that's who she is. Like if your kid is not, and I use a different word just to be funny, but if your kid is not a nice kid at home, he is not going to be a nice kid. Like he doesn't know the magic and how much it costs you to be there. So like, don't expect them to be like this different human just because you're like on Disney soil, but absolutely. And I think even for like late night dining, early dining, you have to know your family's strength and what you want to be happy the whole time. So I think it's important that you just know how your family thrives. So I knew that my daughter would just thrive on the flexibility and doing her own thing. Whereas like, and I have to say the Disney app, like I just loved it. What, like the communication between the kids club and, that was amazing. I had a friend say that I think Royal Caribbean doesn't have that and doesn't communicate.
Not at all. And
how are they not? How are they not up to the times?
So we were like, I don't remember why we were going. We wanted to know, like, could he ask to be picked up, my kid? And they were like, no, we can't message you. We can't reach you. We could maybe call the cabin, but we don't usually do that. What? Our minds were like blown. So
my friend was like, the whole time she's like, you're not really enjoying your time because you're like, does my kid want out right now? And I'm just here having a drink. And my kid's like, hopefully my mom comes soon, you know? Whereas I was like, if I'm not getting a text, it means they're fine because they're not asking to leave.
Right.
If I wasn't getting a text, it meant that Noah was fine. He wasn't asking to leave. But if I didn't know, I'd be like feeling kind of bad the whole time. Like, is he just waiting for me to pick him up? Because I think that's how Royal Caribbean does it. So that like was disappointing because I'd love to try one of those big boats with 17 slides on it.
All right. So we hinted at food a little bit earlier. I'd like to kind of move into that. So Disney Fantasy, we have Enchanted Garden, Animator's Palace, and Royal Court.
Yep.
So why don't we go ahead and tell us kind of which of those restaurants was your favorite, and then tell us about like maybe some of your favorite meals from this cruise.
Okay, so maybe unpopular opinion, but I am like a buffet. Like I love buffets. Like buffet's my thing. Of course, if it's a good buffet, but I feel like it's like poutine. Have you ever like tried not good poutine? Like, oh, the gravy's too dark. Oh, please. It doesn't matter. Okay. My favorite, again, it's like aesthetic reasons. The food was delicious. The whole trip, really, honestly, I felt like 10 on 10, like so good. But I also like not fussy at all. Love all the foods. I love the decor at Enchanted Garden. I find like that was really sweet. Our servers were great. Love the rotation. Love that. The rotation of here. Animator's palette. Is that it? That was so cute. So like the chairs, the Mickey chairs, like I'm like, oh, look at them. They just like know what to do, you know?
And even the table markers with the table markers. Is that what is the right word?
Table numbers.
Table numbers. Yeah. And they're like the little paint can. It's just, Disney Imagineering really does think through everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm the type of human that like, literally I look around, I'm like, who thought of that? Like, even like, just like, obviously they need posts to like hold the ceiling and the ground. And it's like, it's a painter's brush. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, they think of everything, so nice.
Did you pick late dining or did you pick early dining?
We ended up picking late dining via me listening to your podcast. And then again, you listen to information and then you think about your family's strengths via this information. For me, that would have been the whole getting ready for 5:30 would have been too much for my family. I like recognize that with us. Like, and also, okay, my kids they don't care about food. They just don't, they're not like, cannot wait to sit at a restaurant. Like that is not something they like makes them happy at all. And they're good kids. They're going to sit there and whatever, but it's not their strength. Mm-hmm. So I knew that they were going to eat probably at Luigi's Pizza or, they were going to eat something at 5. But you know what? At the end, that was such a good decision for us. I'm so happy I stuck to it because people from around here were like, okay, well, do early dining. I was like, you know what? I think we're going to do late dining via DCL podcast and what they're telling me and my family's strengths. Like, I think we could crush the slide at 5 p.m. So we saw the deck was like clearing up 5:30, 6 p.m. Like, oof, Noah did that slide so many times and the pool was finally cleared. And so we just like did a lot of deck time while the first dining was dining. Again, if your kids are more into eating and care about it, then they're excited to go. But telling my kids, like, let's get ready to go eat at 5 p.m. when they were having a blast in the pool is just not for our family. That was not what they wanted to do. So late dining worked out, but I do have a 4-year-old. So Buddy was like eyeing me after this meal. Are you coming to put me to bed? Like he would say that every night. Oh my God. He was so sweet. He was so tired, you guys. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You can't have both ways. He was awake for the shows. We did Aladdin and Frozen. We'll talk about that later, but he was awake for the shows because we would get ready for 6:37. Like even that, I needed to be the parent that's like, okay, everyone, like I was that, like the guide of the 10 people, like, if you want to go, like we have to get ready now. But then we got a system by day 3 of let's not be pretty for the show. We have so much time in between the show and 8:15 p.m. So we realized, why are we showering, makeup, everything was trying to get like kind of pretty for supper. I was trying to do that for the show, but no, go with your shorts and your t-shirt. No one's looking at like, so I realized that. So I think day 3, we like switched up when we were getting ready or, so it was like, oh, there's time to shower after. We realized that the shows did finish around 7:15. So there's like an hour before it's time to go eat. It is late. Eating at 8:15 is late. You're done by like 9:45. Like your 4-year-old is tired and time change. It's like midnight for us. So he was like done. So he started napping by day 2 every afternoon. So that worked out for us.
Yeah, that's good. And it's really important for families to like listen to the children's like bodies and to pay attention and alter things if it makes sense for you so that everybody can have a happier vacation.
Yeah. We were all in the kids' room talking, me, my dad, like it's loud. The lights are on. Mickey Mouse is playing. And I turn around and my son is sleeping and it's 7:30 p.m. And I'm like, I'm not waking him up to go dining. My dad was like, oh my gosh, can I just go get a burger and fries and sit here with him? And you guys do. And I was like, absolutely. He's like, I've been dreaming of that burger. And like, so again, my family is not the family that's like, we're going to sit and have a salad and whatever. Like, that's just not like, we're like chicken fingers and whatever. So for us, my dad was like so happy. He's like, yes, I can miss one dinner. I'm like, yes, you can miss one dinner. Like, fine, you want to do that. So he stayed with Noah while Noah slept for the night.
And then I think we went into a tangent, but you were going to say what one of your favorite things that you ate on the cruise was.
Yes. So I'm a big caprese salads. So I love the cheese and tomato. I could just give it all to me. So there was like one night at Animator's Palette that was my brother was like, well, you're going to love that. Dessert was good. All the desserts were good, but there was like this caramel. It was at the Enchantment. And there was it was like a caramel macadamian, some sort of tart. And it was just life. It was everything. It was delicious. That is the one piece of food that I'm like, I will remember that forever. And then there's the fish that first night, Enchantment as well. So I think I really enjoyed Enchantment. It was good. Yeah.
I love that.
Like Enchanted Garden, I think is the best menu of those 3, at least for the like original 3. We've always had pretty solid meals there. Did you guys do any specialty dining?
We did not, like the Palo and all that. No, we did not. We just like, it wasn't, and we love dating. Like my husband and I, also my brother and his wife, they're like, do we do it? And I'm like, you know what? This is for the kids. I feel like we date all the time. And like, I didn't feel the need, but maybe it's because it's our first time. And it's like, do we have a reservation? It felt like a big deal. Sometimes it's not even a big deal at all. And it does, but it felt like an extra task. And I was like, no, I'm good. Also, I feel like a queen. Everyone's serving me and I have like these meals and I can choose whatever I want. Like, I don't need extra, I don't need more. When it's your first time, you don't feel like you need more than the base. Like the base is amazing, so.
No, that's a really good point and a good reminder for everybody. Like you don't have to get like
4 appetizers and 3 entrees. Whoa. I don't know who would do that. It's definitely not me.
You and I swallowed into the whole idea. That's not the right word, but you guys will figure it out of I need to book everything because somebody in a Facebook group said I need to book this and you don't, and you can still fun. Did you guys end up booking anything before the cruise? Drink tastings or excursions or anything like that?
You know what? I looked at the list. We did an excursion in Jamaica. We absolutely loved it. We can talk about that when we're at the port, but that's the only excursion that we had booked. And sorry, I'm lying. We also booked just those floaties and a Castaway Key because you guys had said that's a good, I really listened to you guys and it worked out. So I'm telling you, it worked out. But I also think you have to have critical thinking. Like there were some things that you guys said that I knew that don't go with my family. So I think that people need more of that. Sometimes I'm like, just because I said that doesn't mean it's going to work for you. So I did book I think it's like the adventure package at Castaway Key where you get like the bicycles, the floaties, and the snorkel.
Did everybody book it? Or because you were a large group, did you share it amongst the family?
I shared it. So I booked, I think 2, just like one stateroom. And then we kind of shared. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think that's definitely for a large group, the way to do it, because somebody could be riding bikes while the other person's floating, and not everybody is going to do everything at the same time.
Exactly. We also though, we had booked parasailing, but it was too windy. So my daughter, that was canceled. Everything water sports were canceled that day at Castaway Cay. And like everyone's disappointed. I'm like, guys, I have heard people say that it was like raining on Castaway Cay day. So like we had beautiful weather, sunshine. Listen, if we can do everything else other than the parasailing, like at least we got to go on the island and go in the water and enjoy the sun, you know?
While we're on it, do we want to just keep rolling with port adventures? So why don't we go ahead and talk about where we stopped, and then just give us like a highlight of what you did each day.
Okay, cool. So first up was Cozumel. We decided to stay on board. So from this podcast, it's good to have one day where you do not go on board to see what it's like to have the boat on a port day. So I chose Cozumel since we had like so many ports that we were doing, and it's a 7-day. It's quite easy for us to like pick one day not to go on port. And Cozumel just didn't like really speak to us. Although my brother did do an excursion. They went to a beach. I should have gotten that information. It was beautiful. We decided to stay on, and it was a good decision for us. We got to do the aqueduct over and over. My son was after a sea day. So he was just like kind of settling in, but he loves his grandparents. And he would have stayed with them either way, but he just like relaxed more. I don't know. It was like more relaxed and less people. He would do the pool. He loved the pool because there's like one pool where he doesn't have to wear a life jacket. He loved that. That was great. So happy we didn't get off, but actually mid-afternoon, my husband and I were getting kind of antsy, and I was like, I'd love to go for a walk on the island. So we just like put our sneakers on. It was more like an exercise walk than instead of walking around on deck 4, we decided to go on land. The getting off and on, super smooth, easy peasy, no big deal. Yeah. So we just like looked at the shops and obviously got people being like, oh, miss, come here. Just the typical things that you have on your islands, but they're so sweet and nice. They were just like in a very cute way. And that's it. That we didn't do anything special. We decided for Cozumel, we were going to stay on board to live the experience of being on the boat when everyone's on port. That's what we wanted.
Perfect. And what was your next port?
Next port was Grand Cayman. So Grand Cayman is actually an island that we have visited like for 2 weeks at a time, like as in like a vacation on Grand Cayman Island. We absolutely love the Cayman Islands, and we felt like almost at home. But we realized that the last time we were there was 2019, and a few of our favorite spots no longer existed because of the pandemic. So that like broke our heart. I envisioned literally retiring in Grand Cayman, and now I have to switch it to somewhere else because I'm like, oh, well, the beach was, hopefully they're going to fix it by the time I retire. The beach, 7 Mile Beach I don't want to say been ruined, but it has been affected by all the hurricanes. Like it was actually like shocking. Like I actually was like sad. Like I'm walking on a beach where it was like never ending white sand, just beautiful. And there's no more sand. Like the water goes straight to the hotel. Like I'm like, where's the beach? Like there was like, it was just like, so we like kind of were attached to that area. So we just like, took one of those, like they have like taxis or buses when you get on. All 10 of us decided to get off, and we kind of know the place. So we just say like, stop here. And we knew like a little path to go to the beach, and we spent a few hours at the beach. And then we went to, what is that? Cabana Bay. But anyways, they have a beautiful, beautiful little town. So we went there. It's like shopping, ice cream, whatever. So we went there. We had supper. It was delicious. Was it supper or lunch? Probably late lunch. No, not supper. Obviously, we went to the boat for supper. Late lunch. The water's beautiful. 7 Mile Beach is one of the most beautiful beaches in the world. But we were just like sad by the sand. But don't let that stop you from going to see it. It's beautiful.
While you're still looking, we can go ahead and maybe move on. Was Jamaica next?
Jamaica was next, and Jamaica was like the one port that we had an excursion booked through Disney. Very smooth, very, very satisfied with the whole thing. They're basically waiting for you with a little sign. Once that you have your little, like I think we were Tinkerbell. So you just follow. The guide was so sweet. We got on this bus.
What was the excursion that you picked?
The excursion was zip lining. And so it wasn't zip line in the falls. Okay. Again, go to your family strength. All is good that people are like, oh, the Dunn's River Falls, but that is an hour drive, and an hour drive in a bus is just not my kids. Like it's not their strength. Like,
and it's super slippery and a little bit like Probably maybe some 4-year-old would be great with it, but I could say that mine wouldn't have been. And even still, I don't fully trust that he would have liked it, because you like hold on to a rope that other people are holding on to, like go up and down these really slippery rocks. And, so again, look into what it would be, what it would involve for your family.
Absolutely. And I left. So that was an excursion. You needed to be 5 years old, which was great because Noah, again, he's particular. And so for me, it was like, and my parents they're like been there, done that. Like I told you, they've done Disney so many times and they vacation there all the time. For them, it's just like whatever you need us to do for the kids. So left Noah on board with my parents. So he crushed that. So I just had my 8-year-old. I'm like, listen to that. No one saying, mama, mama, mama. It was amazing. I loved it. And so it's just a 25-minute bus ride, which went smoothly. And so, so it was zip lining, and it was like this like resorty place where there's like this big pool and a slide and kind of like a waterfall that you can jump off from. It was really cool. The kids loved it. Great day. $89. Not bad at all.
Really not bad.
No, not bad at all. And we had booked though the ultimate, which was an hour thing. And it was everything except the river falls. Cause again, I had heard you guys that it was slippery and I just like didn't want that experience. So it was like the ultimate challenge, I think it was called. The cool part was the bobsledding. That would have been like, so like, it's like a little roller coaster thing. And I was like, oh, Dia would have loved that. But my brother had booked only zip line and the pool and the slide. And when you're with like another group like that, my daughter, even though the experience would have been really cool, she just wants to be where her cousins are. Like if they would have been like, we're going to do nothing, they were like, oh, that's what I want, so I just like followed. So we canceled that and did the adventure. We were the last ones to have it because my husband was sold out, but the morning of he got on, it was like the last. I was like, I'll go along with her.
Did you ask then at the shore excursion desk to put him on a waiting list?
I did not. No, I just I booked for me and Dia, and then I'm like, I'll just wait closer. And it just like opened up. But that was the plan. I'm like, if ever he can't, I was wondering if like that one seat because same reservation, if they would have, I don't know what my experience would have been like, but if they would have said yes or no, but it worked out.
So by the time you were on the ship, he was booked on the excursion.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. I think the day before, it opened up. I kept looking and it opened up. I think that people like book a lot of things that they don't really want to do just to like, which I'm like, I get it. It's human behavior. It's just what it is. We all do it.
Yeah. So it's a good point to check the app, especially like the 2 weeks leading up to the cruise, because once it's 3 days before, everything becomes non-refundable. Disney books stuff. And so then but people are going to cancel some stuff that might lead to an opportunity for you to book an excursion that you didn't otherwise have.
Yeah, exactly.
That brings us back to Castaway. We already kind of hit a little bit what you did. So I'm going to ask this. I think we spend a lot of time hyping up Castaway. I mean, for good reason, at least in my mind. Did your experience on Castaway meet your expectations, fall short in any ways? What do you think about Castaway?
Okay. Well, personally, I thought it was great. Like I love we did spend a lot of time that we did the 5K. I did the 5K walking. I know you guys are runners. I don't know. I don't understand runners. I am a walker. I mean, I was a runner for like 2 seconds in my life. And then I was like, did a half marathon. I'm like, check off my list. I am never running again. And I never ran again. So I knew it wasn't, but I am a walker. I follow you, Christy. So I'm like, I find you so smart and it's very interesting to me. The whole running scene, but I do know that it's a thing. It's an actual thing. So we walked it, me, Jeff, my husband, and my dad. So we walked it. Yeah. My dad's a walker as well. So we walked it. My mom stayed with the kids. And after that, we all got on a bike. And so my parents rented just the bikes. I think it's like $13. So they did just the bikes and I did that package that I was telling you. So we kind of like made sure everyone kind of had something to do. So all of us did the bike and the kids loved that. So Dia loved that. Everyone loved it. We went and we visited the adults only area, because you go right past it, which was beautiful there. Seemed amazing. And the main area was great. The kids felt the water was cold. I'm like, that for me is like not Disney's issue. Like it's the ocean. The water was great. It was just like really windy. So you didn't have that like refreshing, when it's like so hot and like the cold water feels good. It wasn't like that. But once you were in, things were good. I stayed in the water a long time in that tube because I was the one using the tubes. They did the slide, but the lineup was crazy. So they didn't really do it a lot. I have to say it probably wasn't the kids' favorite. I don't know why. It's like there wasn't a lot to do. Again, they love water parks, right? So they need to keep busy. There needs to be a lot of slides and not just one where everyone's there. And so Noah was right into finding seashells with my sister-in-law. So they kind of did that. But the day we stayed until 4 p.m. We were like the last little trolley to leave. So clearly we found something to do. I think once we let the kids just like do their thing and not like try to dig, like sometimes as parents we're like, oh, there's this and there's this. And they're like, I don't know. I think I'm going to sit on my cell phone. I'm like, absolutely not. Like, my niece was like just sitting on her phone. I'm like, no, like look, whatever. And then my daughter's like, you know what? I'm going to go do, there's like that other park with monkey bars and whatever. Yeah. And then she found a friend. So it kind of like, as the day progressed, they like kind of like felt like home more and like, okay, we're here for the day. Whereas at the beginning, they're like, we already did the slide once. What now? Man, these days, the kids, they need to be entertained every second. I find that your son, like I hear you, I'm like, oh, their son seems so lovely. I listened to your podcast where you're on the Wonder and we actually booked the Wonder for next year. So, and you were like, you played in the sand all day. And I was like, what? How did you play with a bucket all day? Like for sure, that would not be my story. So I was like so jealous. Like you and your husband are like, oh, and then we played in the sand. We're like a good couple hours. I'm like, wow. But anyways, finally, I think they like kind of figured out where the ice cream was and where, they kind of figured out their plan. So we stayed all day. It was great. The food was great on the island. It's more barbecue style. I loved it. Not a big lineup. Great day on Castaway Cay. Really enjoyed it. Beautiful.
Awesome. So why don't we go ahead and bring it back to the ship here? We hinted at entertainment earlier. What shows did you see on board and what was kind of your overall thoughts on the entertainment experience?
All right. So we did the 3 main Disney productions, which was Frozen, Aladdin, and The Wish or I Wish or I Believe.
Believe.
What was it? Believe. Okay. Yeah. So that was great. All 3 were great. Everyone did the 3 shows. I personally loved Aladdin, but Aladdin is more my time, right? Like when I was young, we went to the movie theaters to watch the OG Aladdin, So Frozen is more my daughter's time, but just Aladdin, I knew all the songs. I just like felt I was in it. I was singing, I was dancing. I was like, this is the best. Whereas like my kids don't know Aladdin that much. Genie was amazing. What an amazing.
Genie steals the show every time I had seen Aladdin. And that's what everybody says. Somebody just saw that we recorded with saw Aladdin on The Wish. And she also said Genie was amazing. So,
yeah, Genie was amazing. Yeah. I mean, as he is in the movie. Right. Yeah. He's special. Yeah. And he definitely did his thing. So personally loved it. And like Noah still talks about Le Monsieur Bleu. So because he's blue. That's great. Yeah. So he definitely really enjoyed him. And I was like, yeah. And he like came back a few times, like also in Believe. So I think he definitely captured everyone's hearts, like in the audience. Like, it's like, Genie, he's special. So that was great. Frozen was also obviously amazing. But what happens with Aladdin is the music is so upbeat and the storyline is more like it's more entertaining. Like there's there's fire, there's whatever. Whereas Frozen is more slow. It's more a chill vibe before. And so as a kid, especially a kid that is not English, right. We forget that, right? So they are bilingual. They do understand, but they definitely, if it's not your first language, you're more like kind of all over. And so like my kids would still choose a French movie over an English movie right now. If we were to go to the movie theaters down home, makes me know or realize that they still they still understand better, even if I'm like, oh, they're bilingual, but they're not as bilingual as I am, So I think that what captures them is the visual, the busyness of it. And Aladdin's more busy. Frozen is more slow. So that's why I think Noah was more like, when does it end? He was so sweet. They were so sweet. Like, when does it end? I was like, okay, well, I looked and it's a 40-minute show. So he's like, he's into time right now. I'm like, it'll end at 7, whatever. And he was like counting the minutes. So I think he spent his time more counting how long is it going to be. But I personally loved the show. So we did those 3 shows in the theater.
Bringing it around, we're getting close to the end here. Could you tell us about kind of any other spaces on the ship that you may have hung out at? Any adult spaces that were highlights for y'all?
So every night we like made a point to do an adult, like go to the tube. So that was on the 4th floor and we would go there every night. We absolutely loved the entertainer that was there. His name was Yo-Yo. He was legit, like so funny. We do love a good banter, good sarcasm. I love that. I love that Disney, even being Disney and always trying to be politically correct and always everything's like, we did find that space was very fun, very chill. And we're making fun of the fact that the little keychain is made in China, but Disney, like he was making fun of that, which was like, okay, we can like, not everything is, it's labeled and branded Disney, but it's made in China. And he's like, here you go. It's very unique and special. And so I just like, it was fun. He was an amazing entertainer. So every night there was like a show at 10:30 p.m. So we were done our late dining, kids are in bed. And then we would go as the 4 adults and my parents would stay just to make sure if any kids needed them, they knew that Mimir and Pipir were in their room. So that worked out. That really did. So we were in bed pretty late every night, but I mean, you're only there once. And like, if not, all day was all about the kids. So it's like, that was our time to do something not Disney, but they crushed it. Loved the games. We did like the couples thing. My brother and his new wife ended up being a part of like,
Match Your Mate.
Yeah, they were like they had just been married 6 months. So they were the couple that had been the least amount of time married. So that worked out.
We love Match Your Mate. It's so funny.
So funny. So fun. Love those games. Played and then you meet other adults there, which we ended up, one of them stateroom was right next to ours, which was like such a small world. But yeah, no, that was really fun. So we spent some time there. We didn't spend any time in the adult section. Like, I mean, we walked through it to get to our elevator, I guess, or our end of the boat, but didn't spend any time there. My husband did do the cafe. He would go get a like fancy coffee every morning. Loved it. The latte was delicious. And they did that like press, like either like a picture of, they like the fancy foam on top there where they like put something fancy on top. Do you want me to say fancy one more time? We just like stuck to the basics, like no need to make it fancier than it is. This is great, So I do have to say, I'd love to talk about this one thing that I was like disappointed about, that I would have loved to see more entertainment on deck. I felt like there was no like games on the deck or whatever. I know the movie's playing and I loved it. It was great. And I loved the whole, like everything's Disney, you guys, like it's just so beautiful. Like the music, everything like reminds you of Disney. So for me, as someone that has that, like just the little song brings tears to my eyes, so that for me is special. It's very Disney branded, but I was like, I would have loved like a game on deck with the kids because the 2 pools are too small for the amount of kids that are there. Like it's actually I was listening to you guys. You were saying like, they're like sardines in that pool. It is true. They are like sardines in that pool. I was like, how can Disney not know that there isn't enough pools,
Well, and I think that's why they designed the Wish deck the way they did.
I haven't seen it.
Pretty multiple good sized pools on the deck. Maybe the disadvantage is that they're on different levels. And if you have multiple kids, they could be running all over the place. So like that might be hard, but it then opens up. There's actually a lot of pools for kids. Okay. There's a lot of options for pools.
But so ironically enough, we've done the aqua deck multiple times. So if you really want to do it, no big deal. I mean, don't go when the lineup's an hour. And they would say the lineup's an hour. And I'm like, I had waited an hour the first day, like a crazy person. But like, when they want to go and it's day 1, you're like, whatever, I'll wait. And you guys go do your thing and come meet me. But after that, it was great. Like the lineup wasn't that. I think I did the aqua deck probably 10 times in the week. Okay. So I crushed it. Ironically enough, the kids loved Nemo Reef, which is it's the tiny, I don't know why they love this slide. And then they would go, I think it's the no lineups for them, but they would go on their bellies and they would like slide so far. They would spend hours there. Mm-hmm. The only downfall, I needed to be there, like inside the glass. I'm like, excuse me, I'm right over here. Like, and then they didn't want me to eat ice cream inside the glass. I'm like, oh my God, allow me to eat my ice cream while my 9-year-old who can swim is on this time. You know what I mean? Like, why am I watching my 9-year-old right now when you are letting her be alone on the boat? That was the only like annoying piece. I have to share this. So my son is 41 inches and 7/8. Okay. So 42 to get on that aqueduct. Okay. And they're not measuring him with shoes. He's like 42 and a half. But then they were measuring without the shoes. And we had just done Volcano Bay and he was 42 at Universal. If it's the person that's like, his hair, like he's right, like he's literally, the guy's like, I need to measure him. And I'm like, all right, let's do this. And like the whole crowd is like cheering for us. Okay. They're like, come on, he can do it. So he's standing underneath and he has like big hair. And the cast member is like, he has like a bracelet and he's like doing this under his hair. If you can fit a bracelet underneath, you can't, you're not. Okay. So the cast member is like, think tall, buddy, think tall, think taller, think taller. We were like, come on. Anyway. So like, obviously Noah was like this with his like just a little bit. And he's like, you got it. So he gave him the bracelet. So Noah did the aqueduct like 17 times. It was so sweet. He didn't do anything wrong. Like it was like literally he's 41 and 7.58. Like it was like ridiculous. So, and plus that aqueduct is like so slow. Like there's nothing dangerous with the aqueduct. He had done the roller coaster at the Volcano Bay, which is like, hold on for your life. You know what I mean? It's like, and once he has a bracelet, they don't ask again. So that was fun. We didn't have to do that every time.
Yeah, that's good.
We are getting towards the end of our time here. Jos'ee, thank you so much for coming on. But before we close out the show, we hinted at it earlier. What's next for you and your family?
Hey, so we realized that my family really enjoys cruising. Again, that was our first family cruise. And we're like, okay, this could be a thing for us in the next few years as they're getting older and what they like to do. And so they really, really enjoyed the cruising piece of our vacation this year. So we're going to cruise again. And we are booked on the Wonder of the Seas next year. Like I told you, my kids really thrive on water parks and being busy. And after listening to your podcast, Christy, and just like you said, if you like to have a lot of things to do, this, this could be the cruise for you. And we felt like for our kids and their needs and what they like, there was only Dia that really took pictures with the princesses. And that's what Disney has, right? It has the Disney branding. It has everything that your kid would need. For us, they really need like the slides and that for us would have like been nice on the cruising piece. So we're going to try that. We're going to try the Wonder of the Seas next year. So that's what's next.
That's great. And I know we had talked before the show. You have a podcast and you have a pretty popular Instagram account. So do you want to tell people if they're interested in listening to you outside of this episode or finding you, where can they find you?
Yes, of course. So I have a podcast. It's called Let's Get Loud with Jane, where me and my best friend pretty much chat. We get louder about women prioritizing themselves and their health. And we're like diet disruptors that we're like kind of against the diet industry. So anyways, if that's like, if you're like, oh, I like this, follow me, Jos'ee, JOSEE_YWWL, or just find our podcast, Let's Get Loud, like the song, the JLo song.
Love it. All right. Well, thank you again for coming on the show and sharing your family's experience on the awesome Disney fantasy.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Like I said, we love first time cruiser shows. They're always, I think, very special to everyone. But I think that's going to wrap up the show. Thank everyone for watching.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys.
Put your thing in there, Steve.
Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's going to wrap up our show. Once again, we want to thank Jos'ee for coming on and sharing her family's first Disney cruise, sailing aboard the Disney Fantasy. If you are enjoying the show, we greatly appreciate you leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. We would also like to thank our Patreon supporters who help make this show happen each and every week for us. You too can help support the show by joining our community by visiting patreon.com/DCL podcast. Whether you're boarding a cruise, enjoying a trip to the parks, or adventuring outside of Disney, on behalf of myself, Steve, Christy, and Nova, we want to wish you smooth sailing and safe travels. And we'll see you next time on the DCL podcast.
The DCL podcast is not affiliated with the Disney Cruise Line, Walt Disney Company, Adventures by Disney, or Run Disney. All of the opinions expressed on our shows are those of the hosts and the guests who appear on the show. If you have any questions about any of these products, please contact the Walt Disney Company.